So the other day I was roughhousing with my son, and as I was roughhousing with him, he got upset and ended up running off. And as soon as he ran off, his mom, my wife, comes into the room and she says, "Why do you always do that? Why do you always push him until he gets upset or until he cries?" And without thinking about it, I said, because men need to know that the men they're standing with aren't going to bitch out when things get difficult. And granted, I said that without really thinking about it, but after the little event, I started thinking about it more, and my tune didn't change. I think that's the exact reason that we as fathers and men in general push each other. We need to know that the guys that we're around aren't going to bitch out when things get difficult or challenging or hard. That's why we push on each other. And it reminded me of this experience that happened, 25 years ago. I must have been maybe 6th or 7th grade, and one of my friends was getting picked on. And we were out in the little commons area. It must have been a lunch or a recess or something like that. We were out in this commons area, and he's getting picked on. And I got out of class, and I went over there and started pushing on the guy that was pushing on him. And we got into an altercation and everything else, and nothing really ever came of it. I don't know if the teachers broke it up or we went back to class or whatever. Nothing came of it. But I remember my friend saying, "Thanks for helping me. Nobody else would." And that is a perfect example of why it's so important that we as men find other men who are willing to stand by us, but not only stand by us, we want quality men to stand by us. So we live in a society, in a world that says that we need to be tolerant and accepting and understanding and not judgmental of other people. And while I certainly understand that, and we can be friends with about anybody and everyone, when you're talking about your inner circle and you're talking about the men that you're going to surround yourself with, you want to be selective with who you invite into your circle. And what you want is you want men who are willing to push you verbally, emotionally, physically, not abuse, but push, so that they know that when push comes to shove, you'll be the one that comes and stands beside him. And you need to know that the men that you're surrounding yourself with aren't going to bitch out when things get hard for you. This doesn't change. So while you might have some friends who, you maybe go to men's church group with, or have a barbecue and flip a burger with your wife and his wife and have a friendship, these aren't necessarily the kind of men that you're going to go to battle with. So if you don't have those kind of men in your life, you don't really have a band of brothers. You might have some neighborly, cordial friendships, but you certainly don't have a band of brothers. And this is why I'm such an advocate for, even as we grow into men, not little boys, that we continue to be involved with competitive sports, martial arts, things that are going to test and push us in ways that no woman's going to be able to, no friendly neighbor is necessarily going to. We need to give other men permission to push us, to ensure that we are improving, to ensure that we are getting better, that have given us permission to push them to ensure that they are getting better. When I look at the men in my life who push hard on me, it's not always fun, it's not always comfortable, it's not always enjoyable, and it's not supposed to be. These are the kind of guys that I believe will have my back when things get difficult, whether it's some sort of physical deal or altercation I'm dealing with, or some emotional battle. Maybe it's a divorce or a separation or getting laid off. It's these difficult times that you need to be able to rely on somebody who's going to have your back and isn't going to bitch out on you when things get a little awkward or a little uncomfortable or a little difficult. So as my wife questioned why I would push my son the way that I do at times, I think it's going to be difficult for her to understand, because I think this is inherently masculine. We need a band of brothers. We need guys to push on us. We need that resistance. And if we don't have it, we sell ourselves short and we leave growth and grittiness and toughness and fortitude on the table, because it's never been honed and refined through a relationship with another man who isn't afraid to get up in your face and do the things and say the things that needs to be done. So look for those kind of men in your life. Not comfortable always, but it's valuable. It's invaluable. Look for those men. Be that kind of man. And I think you'll understand, although it is uncomfortable, why it's so important.